Hello everyone, how's everyone doing? You guys doing good too? I'm doing good too. Let's get on today's video session. Here we go. This one is gonna be the most interesting video to date on Panasonic Q games console. Panasonic Q games console and DVD player. Yeah! So how you guys doing? How do you have my rock and roll music? Once again, welcome back on Panasonic Q games console and DVD player system. So previously there was 8 parts to my video. That was final on that. Then there's 3 parts to my video. That was final on that. Now these videos that I'll be making, there were no parts. They were continuing with the videos. This video today, right, without no parts, it's the final part in this as well. This was the last part of the Panasonic Q games console. So whatever I'm going to be saying today, it's going to be utmost information on Panasonic Q. The other thing is that about the Panasonic Q, it's amazing system, isn't it? Yeah, what I was saying, yeah, it's amazing system that incorporates everything all in one. It's like a media hub for yourself, which does everything, really, isn't it? If people are not mood on playing Nintendo Gamecube games, it's got all the features. Before we go into the Panasonic Q stuff, in today's final video of them all, Panasonic Q games console and DVD player, it is the final part. I'm afraid this is the last part, and I hope you guys will make most of it. So first of all, let's go into the Nintendo GameCube. The original system. It's really important to people to know what Nintendo GameCube was about. Okay? Nintendo GameCube, as we all know, it used 8 centimeters small discs and can't play 12 centimeter DVD audio CDs. It couldn't play them at all. The system was just made for playing video games. That's what Nintendo gave us, didn't it? It wasn't nothing else in their system. It can be a big downfall for a lot of the people, but it was actually like that, I'm afraid. The way we look at the Nintendo GameCube, right? Was it any good? Of course it was. Yeah, it had high quality games which were better than the Sony PS2 and Microsoft Xbox. I am not joking on that. If you take few examples, right? Super Mario Sunshine, you wouldn't get anything like that on the other two consoles. If you look at the actual graphics, And the gameplay in this game, it's absolutely amazing, man. It just doesn't stop there. Oh, and it delivered one of the most fastest racing game, which was developed by Sega and Nintendo, F-Zero GX. I have never seen any amazing racing game like that in my entire life. Then another racing game they brought us was the Mario Kart Double Dash, where one character is the driver and the other person throws the power-ups. The thing's amazing, man. Some people say that it's one of the most amazing Mario Kart game ever developed. That's entirely up to you guys. Which one you think is the best one? I don't know if it was one of the greatest Mario Kart game, but it's a really good one. Another game that I really always thought is really amazing, man. Wow, Metroid Prime. Metro Prime, the FPS shooter. That is one of the flipping amazing graphics and stunning gameplay on the Nintendo Gamecube, man. It's stunning, man. I don't know how many more I can say. Luigi Mansion, another one. It's a really good one where he's looking for his missing brother Mario in there. Really good one. There's tons of more games like even there is a game called Soul Calibur 2. It was one of the best versions because it had just a Link character. Look how popular Link is from Zelda games. Just having Link in the game and it becomes the best game just with one character. That is amazing. Look how amazing you can get of having the Zelda games. Now we had some Zelda games on there. Uh, Zelda Wind Waker, a really good one. Zelda Twilight Princess, and so on. Really, this is games from Nintendo we're talking about here. I'm not even mentioning any games from other developers here. Nintendo produced all these games, man, and they developed them. You really think Sony and Microsoft even can compare with these games? Not really. Not a chance. They don't even make any games. They make other developers make them games for them. If you look at when people say it's a Sony one, it's a Microsoft game, they didn't even develop them games. It's just one of their studios. They don't develop them, do they? They haven't got any developers. Look at each exclusive games they ever produce. It's not made by them. It never is. But Nintendo is a developer animated games console. It's really amazing. There were other like first party, third party games as well. There were a lot of other games like there was some fighting games like Bleach, Dragon Ball Z, hold on, One Piece, stuff like that. It's amazing. These games were been amazing as well. They're absolutely incredible fighting games, man. There's so much variety with Nintendo GameCube. But what made it not successful? If you had all these games, I don't understand why would they look at it like that? If you got these kind of games, these whiplash, Sony PS2 and Microsoft Xbox, by miles, man. By miles. There was another, I think, a third party game. It was called Star Wars Rogue Leader. Oh my god, look at them graphics, man. Look at the action in this game, man. It was absolutely spectacular, man. And one of the best one in the lineup was Star Wars Rogue 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 Squadron 3. Is it Rogue Squadron? Rogue Strike 3, whatever it's called, something like that. That game was absolutely incredible where the Luke Skywalker's shooting. Then he climbs on this some kind of ropes And he starts using his sword, hitting these ships and all that. What's it, Skywalkers or whatever they're called? I can't remember what they call them when they're walking, going chinka chinka chinka. He used to go underneath it and use a sword and damage them. And also, the flight sim in this game was absolutely stunning, man. Graphics, gameplay is all there. Now, as I just mentioned, if we had stuff like that, then why didn't it succeed? Design. Look at the design of the system. Look at it. It's like a square cube. It's like a cube shaped. It looked childish. To a lot of the consumers, it seemed really childish. People put a child image on Nintendo Gamecube. They kept on saying it keeps on producing games for little kids. They made that actually up. Because if you look at these games, they're pretty impressive games. They looked at the cube shaped and they called it the console was for little kids. They said stuff like that to it. They started insulting it. And he had a really bad image on the system. And also, it lack of features. What kind of features are we talking about here? The features we are talking about in this system is that the Nintendo GameCube was only to play games on there, and it didn't have DVD and audio CDs that you can play. You couldn't do that anyway because the drive was small. The reason for making the drive was small, he just wanted you to play video games on it. That's what it was. And I think in terms of Nintendo, he was wrong. But if you look at this system, this was Nintendo's first games console to have an optical disc drive in there. To use CDs. Yeah. Small mini like mini DVDs. He used them. Because having little mini DVDs, you're gonna have less memory on these discs, aren't you? Yeah. They were the half of the size of the original DVD discs. And your gameplay wouldn't be that long either. Can you see where I'm coming from? Your gameplay is going to be small because there's small amount of data on these discs, right? Obviously, you're not going to have a DVD remote control on there, yeah. The lack of features I feel that the system didn't have. Okay, let's go through this. Lack of features, which it didn't have. You know that the drive, it was small. It should have been a 12 centimeter drive in there. So we can use DVDs and audio CDs. Okay? I think on top of that, it would be good if we can play copy discs of CDR, CDRW, and MP3 discs. That would be a great advantage over the PS2 and Xbox. Yeah, you know, Sony PS2 and Microsoft Xbox. They were a great advantage. Even they couldn't play these copy discs, some of them. And the other thing that it should have had DTS. DTS. So we could have connected our AV receivers with satellite speakers and subwoofers, but it didn't do any of that. These are lack of features I think it should have had. It's a shame it didn't have any of that. If it just had all that, this system would have been great. Maybe we didn't need the Panasonic Q. And then on top of that, they could have released if you had a DVD, could play DVD discs. Nintendo could have made a DVD remote control on it. But no, it was just like a cube-shaped design. When just playing 8 centimeter discs, or just for video games. Oh, what a great shame! What a great shame! So when did Nintendo GameCube release? It released in Japan September 14, 2001. In some articles and even in my videos, I said it was released in 2003. It wasn't. I don't know where lots of people got that from. Even I read a lot of this information. I thought it was 2003. There's never been a system of Nintendo GameCube ever released in 2003. There's never been one. No, there's never been a system released in 2003. That's absolutely a wrong year for Nintendo GameCube. All the Nintendo GameCubes from Japanese to US and UK. Let's clear this now. The Japanese ones were released on September 14, 2001, and the US and UK ones were released in 2002. So where did the 2003 come from? I don't know what's going on there. It was never released in 2003. Okay, so now you know that. So that's all covered from Nintendo GameCube. I don't know how many times I've covered this so many times. Oh, Panasonic Q games console. First of all, we're gonna go into Panasonic Q release date. When was it released? December 13, 2001. So we're looking around about 3 months and 1 day released from the original Nintendo GameCube console, isn't it? So we got the original Nintendo GameCube releasing on September 14, 2001. Then we got the Panasonic Q getting released on December 13, 2001, which is approximately after 3 months and 1 day of the release date. Okay, so Nintendo quickly found out that he made a big mistake with Nintendo GameCube. Then he gave the license, not give, gave the license to Panasonic to make a games console and DVD player, which was then called Panasonic Q game console and DVD player, which had a lot of features. I'm gonna go quickly through these features once again. Look at amount of things this had over Nintendo GameCube and the other two consoles. Okay, right. First of all, it had a very shiny chassis, which is very strong. Mirror faceplate, where you can see everything was put on the front. You can see everything in there. Okay, LCD display, which is blue LED light, and below the LCD display there were DVD buttons like play, pause, stop, rewind, forward. There was these buttons on there as well, and then on the left hand side there was stuff like power, dialogue enhancer, cinema, reset, and then on the right hand side there was a open, close, surround, uh, game for Nintendo games. There was these two sides of buttons on the left and right. Okay, and then and by the four control ports, there's the round circles. He had blue LED lights there. Then he had memory card slots, which is the same from there. And then from the back, it had um, LR, 4 ports for speakers, and then he had one jack for the subwoofer. Okay, and then for video, he had S video, and composite yellow for your video as well. DTS, Digital AV Out for game, which is an original Nintendo Gamecube one for video again. It's quite a lot of stuff in there. And we had a power cord at the bottom. He had all of these features on the Panasonic Q games console and DVD player. This was a very amazing system, and also it had what kind of formats could it play in the same drive. 8 centimeter Nintendo GameCube games can be played, and 12 centimeter discs can be placed on the same tray, which was DVD, VCDs, audio CDs, CDR, CDRWs, and MP3 discs. It played all that. This system is a real media hub for your center. You gotta think that everybody is not a gamer out there. In terms of your family, I doubt that happens. That's where Nintendo was wrong for releasing Nintendo GameCube without that drive. If you look at the Panasonic Q, even you don't like to play your Nintendo GameCube games, right? Any member from your family can enjoy the Panasonic Q. He can either get into music using audio CDs, and if he wants to watch movies, he can use DVD discs. Can you see? And also for your video, if anybody else had one of these discs for your video, you can use VCDs in as well, because some people still have VCDs lying around. You can even use them as well. And for your audio, if you got copy discs of CDR, CDRW, and MP3, you can enjoy them for your music as well. There was so much variety to this system, which I already told you in my previous videos. There is a lot of difference because in terms of Panasonic Q, it doesn't just outperform Nintendo GameCube. It's even better than Sony PS2 and Microsoft Xbox. It's better than all three of them, in my opinion. It's the best system to date. You can do anything on this machine, from gaming to audio to movies. It does a lot. It does everything that you want it to do. So there you have it. Everything has been covered. There's not much more to say, really. The other part of Panasonic Q was that it was playing Japanese Nintendo GameCube games. I don't think you can have much trouble playing just Japanese games on Nintendo GameCube. Sorry, on the Panasonic Q. Because a lot of these games, right, they use English text. I've seen that. A lot of these games are using English text. You're not going to have trouble playing F-Zero GX on it. Probably not in Metro Prime. Maybe not Binocular Heroes. There's games like UFC Throwdown. And all other games on there. There's a lot of good racing games. So I'm going to be covering more of in depth into Nintendo GameCube games that you can play on your Panasonic Q. What kind of, which games are really available for Japanese exclusives and which games you really should buy for your Panasonic Q to top up your list. Rather buying the UK and US version of these games. Which games you should buy especially for Japanese versions. Okay? And the other part was that you don't need to worry because if you watch some of my videos, I've told you about DVD region, remove region from DVD, how that could be done with one software, and with the other software, I told you how you can make a copy DVD. You don't need to modify it for your movies at all, no. I don't think you really want to bother just playing US games. I wouldn't bother with that for modding your Panasonic Q. You must just play Japanese Nintendo Gamecube or something. Most of your terms just alright. They just got English text. And you know how to play some of these games anyway. And the other side, I already told you how you can get rid of the regions. And once you make the copy DVD discs, that's the ones you're going to be using on your Panasonic Q games console. So do not use the original ones. The copy DVD disc you make, that's the one you use on the Panasonic Q. I swear it will work flawlessly. 100% it will work. So you won't have any issues. I don't think anybody needs to mod the Panasonic Q games console. Don't bother doing that. Now you know from me, do not bother doing any of that. Everything is covered from my A to Z videos now. You can just buy the Panasonic Q games console. You can play your games, DVDs, and audio CDs. You won't have any problems with this machine anymore. Just go for it and just buy it. Just be alert that if you want to keep the Panasonic Q in Japanese version, buy the games, right, which have English text. Some of them even have English language in them, you know. I've noticed that. So look into that. You should be all okay then. So there you have it. I hope this has been quite informative to you. So this was the final part for the Panasonic Q games console and DVD player. And I hope you guys enjoyed all of my videos on this topic, Panasonic Q games console and DVD player. I've enjoyed myself making these videos. I'm sure it's probably helped you guys a lot out there. And you will purchase a Panasonic Q games console and DVD player in the near future. So there you have it. Everything's been covered by me. So that's all from me. Give your likes, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye from now.